Hi, my name is Nataly Valenzuela from the grade 1002, and I'm going to talk about the Greek tragedy, its origin, and its characteristics. The Greek tragedy originated in ancient Greece and was inspired by the rituals and representations that were sacred in ancient Greece. It is a form of popular drama that was represented in the theatres of the ancient Greece. These works represent a very short period in history. The works of the Greek tragedy was represented in the wine festival of Dionysus. In this period, works were performed by Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides in the late 5th century. The works were represented by a single actor, and these are represented in costumes. The works usually end with a sad at the death of the protagonist. The Greek tragedy has this name as it considers a tragedy because it breaks with the order of the world, thus generating that the characters have a tragic end. Characteristics: choral arrangement. The Greek tragedy had chorus as the main element of the performance. Mask and costumes. These were exaggerated since they facilitate the understanding of the works. Actors. The number of actors were small, usually 2 in the first time and 3 in the later tragedy. Musical language. The rules were written in verses. Skills. Each dramatist presents 4 plays usually. Theater. Large outdoor structures built on the slopes of the hills. The structure of the Greek tragedy had as its beginning the prologue, then the employed and the episode, and finally had the Exodus. Representatives: Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, Agathon of Athens, and Cerilo.
So before going into Medea's play, we need to know the characteristics of Euripides' writings. So first, Euripides used to write endings that are a little bit confusing. This technique is called Deus ex machina, which is like having an entire plot and then an external thing that is not mentioned before comes out and ends up the book. This is something that Euripides was really criticized about, and it includes this technique during Medea's play. So, second, he used minor myths or several altered versions of it. In this play, we can find the Golden Fleece myth. The third characteristic is about characters that have questioned traditional values. As you know, Medea was questioned about her decision to kill her children because of love. And that's why she is a really complex character, because also when she's a mother, she is like have a lot of revenge inside her heart. So it makes her um, having like something impossible to forgive Jesus, and she decided to take revenge to him by her own children. So also another characteristic that is really important about Euripides is about he doesn't speak in a poetic way. He's kind of more realistic and have emphasize more in dialogues. So characters are going to have a more realistic dialogue that will be used on that epoch, and not that one of something poetic as Sophocles used to write. So, and also another important fact is that the team emphasized that Euripides used to write about was about morals than gods. Almost all writers of Greek of ancient Greek wrote about gods, but Euripides decided to emphasize more on morality. Well, so and now speaking about the plot of Medea, you need to know that it starts about with a conflict that I'm going to talk later, a little bit later, and also all events that happen in the play are due to that main conflict presented. So we're going to speak the plot in 10 little points. So the first thing you need to know is that Medea and Jason were like they exiled themselves from Corinthus and they go into a new land to start a new life for several reasons that you are going to find in the myth of the Golden Fleece. The second point is that Jason abandons Medea. Even when they started a family in a new land, she left everything for him, and he abandons her to go after power. And he was kind of remembering the princess of the new land they have arrived. So that made that Medea cursed herself and her children's life. So the third point we are going to speak about was about that kind of revenge that Medea was wanting, make her fear to crown the king of the land. He decided to banish out Medea and her children, and also, but before that, he decided to give her one last day. And in that day, Medea was about to accomplish her revenge for Jason. Also, the fourth point is that Jason accused Medea of overreacting about her news of remarrying the princess. And he said that it was in benefit of everyone, that marriage was about to benefit her, the princess. So in the sixth point, we have that Aedes, the king of Athens, offered Medea a place to have a new life, that was Athens, in exchange of a method of curing her sterility. And well, so after that was accomplished, Medea have everything well to do her revenge. So the seventh point is that she gave her a gift to the princess and claims for her children to be able to stay in the land. The gift was poisoned. So when the princess received it, she was poisoned and she died. And also, as the point number 7, Creon died with her daughter as the sadness consumed him. And the ninth point was when the messenger told Medea about all the deaths that were occurring that day, and Medea felt cold and she wasn't like having any doubt about what was about to happen. That was that he was about to kill her children to accomplish everything of her revenge. And finally, as the ninth point, she killed them and she escapes in a dragonpool chariot sent by her grandfather, that was the son of God. And in the 10th point, we can find out that Jason in this time was the one that loses everything. And at first time it was Medea, but then the papers were exchanged, and now was Jason the one that loses everything. So, as an analysis of this play, we can see that it is a polemic play, and also because Euripides explains how to be a woman in ancient Greece sings. Why? Because as Medea said inside the play, she said that women are told to be how to do everything, how to do labor of house and how to raise children, but they are never told about how to handle a marriage. And also, if you're lucky, your marriage, it won't be like something that have violence, something that was common during that times. And that was something polemic about to speak about the suffering of women inside marriage. Also, Euripides was like a pioneer on starting to get inside the psychology of characters. He tried to make them complex and not make them bad or good. Almost all the characters of this play are kind of gray. They are not good, they are not bad. The actions they made are bad, but also they have like a justification for that. Also, well, the it have like a contrast in the way they put the play. The pessimist way of the play, it can be love, because everybody exposes love as a weapon of destruction and not as joy. Because in these two cases, Medea was destroyed by Jason, and also Creon died because the sadness of losing his daughter, and well, and the good way was the chorus that was the one that gave like that kind of good spirit to the play, and was the one that tries to give like a happy emotion and raise up the joy during the play. And also, well, one of the most polemic things about this play is the ending. The technique, as I said before, Deus Machina, is posed like something not good of the writer that was Euripides, because it's kind of confusing, and also it was kind of unnecessary. But some scholars think that Euripides made that because women need to gain once something, a battle from men, and the best way to do it was that one. But in my opinion, it could be another way to end up the play, as it can, as I've said before, the king of Athens offered her a place to live, offers Athens as a new home to Medea, so Medea could have taken that opportunity that the king was offering her, and not necessarily to end up with that end. So that's everything. Bye.